One thing I want to mention in this video, when I think about it, is like, if I was to die, you know, from a combative situation, I'd rather die in the real way, like, I'd rather die, like, within a gunfight, because then I'm, like, keeping it real, opposed to just, like, challenging people, getting in these senseless fights that are just games. I'd rather be involved in something where it's like I was fighting for survival, and if I got shot and killed, then I got shot and killed. Like, at least I keep it real, and that's one thing that I realize and I think about it is like, what do I want to do? It's like, I don't want to be a martial artist, because to me, the martial arts, as far as what it's being represented by, is a joke. Just like recently, you got this shooting in California. Who are the ones that are saving the day? It's not the martial artists. It's not the fighters. It's not the combat sport athletes. It's the people with the guns. The police with the guns is the ones saving the day. That's keeping it real. It's like, I understand it's great to be an artist, any type of artist, no matter if it's a martial artist or somebody that plays musical instruments or a painter. Like, being an artist is great, but it has nothing to do with survival. So if your life is in danger, you don't call the painter to help you survive. You don't call the person that's good at playing the piano to survive. You don't call the gymnast to survive. You don't call a director to survive. You don't call, like, these so-called martial artists to survive, who are dealing with unarmed combat. You call the people with the weapons to survive, no matter it be the police or the armed citizen. And that's another thing. It's like, you got the police, but then you also got armed citizens out there. What do we call them? Because they're not necessarily martial artists, because they might not be artists at all, but they're the ones who are armed. So what about them? The good people that are armed, what do we call them? Whatever we call them, these, warriors or soldiers, or I don't know what to call them, because the soldiers are in the military, the police are in the police, but then there's people out there that have guns for protection. What do we call them? Like the armed artist, so rather than martial artist, the armed artist, like, so these are the people that are really the protectors, and it's like, I'm more interested in being at the highest level that I can be allowed by law. If the law said, hey, nobody's allowed to have guns at all, and then we gotta basically figure out the method to be the most lethal that we can without guns. But if the law said, hey, you know what, you're allowed to have guns, then we should be the most lethal that we can, so then we can be the greatest protectors that we can. You can't be a police officer without a gun. You can't be on the SWAT team without a gun. Like, these guns are modern day survival, and I don't want to fight. I hate fighting. I don't want to prove anything. I don't want to argue with anybody. But if somebody's trying to take my life, like how these people did in the California facility, they just went in there, started killing people, I want to be able to survive that by fighting back, not just running. I want to fight back. I want to shoot back, and that to me is the real, and somebody like Tupac kept it real. He knew what was real, and he actually got shot 5 times, survived it, and then ended up dying by the gun. That's like as real as it could get. He died by gunfire. And then you got somebody like Bruce Lee, it's great that he's a martial artist, but I've heard information that Bruce Lee was into guns too. He used guns to protect himself. He bought guns too. So I see a lot of this martial arts stuff, it's been so much mocked at by the media, made fun of, disrespected. You got things like Power Rangers and, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Karate Kid and Jackie Chan and Kung Fu Panda, and you got all this stuff making a mockery out of the martial arts. It's like, why would I want to call myself a martial artist? Because I'm not someone to be made fun of. I'm not a joke. It's like, I'd rather be like the police. If I'm not on the police, I'm trained like them, if not more than them, and I'm armed just like them. And I'm as lethal as they are. So that's what I'm interested in. I'm interested in survival. I'm not interested in playing boxing games, wrestling games, chess games, video games, tennis games. I'm not interested in those games. Those are just games. When it comes to survival, just like what happened in California, you're not calling the MMA fighter to help you. You're not calling, the Thai boxer to help you. You're not calling the person that knows Taekwondo or the person that has a black belt. No. You're calling the people that got the guns, the good people with the guns that's going to fight back these violent criminals out there. And that's the real thing. And I'm interested in the real. As far as the art is concerned, I know it for what it is. It's just an art. Me lifting weights, me sparring, me hitting the wooden dummy, me punching the punching bag, that's no different than me just playing basketball, me, playing chess, me painting, drawing. It's just an activity that's fun. I look at it for what it is, but when it comes down to it, real life survival is dealing with the guns. And that's what I want to focus on as far as survival is concerned. Martial arts is just for fun. It's like kids going to paintball shooting, airsoft shooting, Nerf gun shooting. It's fun, but that's not real, okay? And I think a lot of people get caught up in this martial arts stuff, thinking that they're somehow superheroes, or they're somehow special because they know how to kick and they know how to punch. I think it's just a bunch of nonsense. It's like, whatever. You're not anything lethal, because in modern day, it's all about the guns. I don't care if you know how to use the nunchucks or the bow staff or throwing stars and all that stuff, but that's the way that I see it.